Yeah. Hey guys, John here with the Practical Tactical Minimalist, and today we are doing a quick overview of a class that I took at Point Blank Range in Mokina, Illinois. It is called Low Light, No Light Defensive Pistol. It was taught by Rich and was an evening class that consisted of 2 hours of classroom and 1.5 hours or so of time on the range. This course was designed to help prepare students for a personal defense situation where there is low light or no light, particularly in a home defense context. They also stated that this class was a must for new pistol owners as well as experienced shooters. I always have a bit of a hard time reviewing classes at Point Blank because I'm trying to remain objective, and I'm also trying to take their target demographic into account and strip as much of my own personal bias out of it. So take this with a grain of salt. But if you've trained somewhere like Archetype of the Gun or Spartan or Front Sight Solutions or Tactically Sound, this class is going to be laughable to you. The information is all outdated, the class structure and presentation format are very 90s, and since there was so much question and answer spread throughout the lecture, we ended up having to blaze through like the last dozen or 2 dozen slides or so, and many of those slides that we just glazed over were the meaty slides about different handheld flashlight techniques, who developed them and why they were developed. So the stuff we glossed over at the end was the stuff I was really interested in. But then we were off to the range portion. We had the whole range to ourselves because the range was technically closed by the time we got to the range. We still had to stand completely still in our own single stalls, so we each got our own stall. The most useful part of the night in demonstration was when Rich went downrange and demonstrated all the different techniques on us in pitch black with his flashlight. That was super eye-opening. Then we got to shoot as much or as little as we wanted, so the round count is definitely an approximation. You can blaze it down or you can only shoot a few mags, whatever you're comfortable with. And this time was all self-led, and then the class was over. So I guess it's going to be a negative review, but it can't be a fully negative review because they did technically do what they said they were going to do. They would demonstrate low light, no light defensive handgun techniques for new shooters. They did that. It was neat to shoot in a completely dark range, and I even ran a few cylinders through my snubby, and that was really neat to get to run a J-frame in pitch black with a handheld flashlight. I had a good time in the class because I enjoy taking defensive shooting classes, and I like Rich. However, I feel like a lot of the information was either outdated or wrong. There was little to no instructor input during the live fire training, and the premise of a pitch black, standing completely still shooting somehow being a relevant skill was misleading and overblown. In the point blank material, it specifically points out the context of home defense for this class. I don't know about you, but my home is never dark to the point I literally can't see my hand in front of my face in the middle of the night. Like a pitch black, zero ambient light ranges, not exactly a great substitute for that environment. It's also my home, so I know where this newfangled piece of technology called light switches are. There was no talk about photonic barriers, punching through, other light sources, how glass can affect light and candela and lumens, what it's like to use light on someone who has a light of their own. So you want a high enough candela and lumen flashlight to overpower their light so you can still see them. There's also this problem of standing in a stall completely stationary with no accuracy or speed requirements and being prevented from drawing from a holster that make this class really not a class. It's more like a fun experience. And it's worrisome to me because the type of people that are most likely to take this class are also the type of people that are most likely not to go look out for different classes. And I'm thinking like a different class that actually trains relevant and transferable skills, like the Front Sight Solutions low light class, which I took in the same quarter as this class. It was a night and day difference. And it cost about the same as this class, and it was an order of magnitude better. All that said, in the words of Claude Warner, obviously paraphrased, that untrained citizens with cheap guns have been winning gunfights with untrained criminals with cheap guns since the dawn of firearms. And I guess seeking out any training is better than no training at all. I would just be careful not to over-exaggerate your own skill level because you have a few of these point-blank classes under your belt. While it was fun, and I think it was worth the money for the experience, I don't think that there was much skill or technique being taught here, and I don't think many people walked away with relevant data sets that would be helpful. This has been John, the Practical Tactical Minimalist. Be safe out there.